but the level of delinquency on this concept here has to be talked about. Americans are raking up phantom debt that Wall Street simply can't track. This is a Bloomberg story. So, folks, listen up. Here we go. So the rise of phantom debt is through popular buy now, pay later. You keep hearing about BNPL platforms like Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay, which aren't reported to credit agencies, masks a true picture of American households' financial health. Tim Quinlan of Wells Fargo warns people need to be more awake of the rise of BNPL. BNPL's lack of transparency stems from a dispute between providers and credit bureaus, with BNPL companies resisting data disclosure, arguing it could harm customers' credit scores. Despite this, the market continues to expand, obscuring economists' understanding of consumer spending and debt. BNPL's allure of installment payments attracts consumers, but a Harris Poll survey reveals, ready? Concerning trends, 43% are behind on their buy now, pay later payments, and 28% are delinquent on other debts due to BNPL spending. Insanity. Tom, thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, there's a line in here that capitalist I am. BNPL companies resisting data disclosure, arguing it could harm consumer credit scores. It should harm their credit scores if they're already tapped out on their credit cards and BNPL wants to lend them more money. And BNPL companies, they want to make money. They want to loan the money, but they're saying, well, maybe we shouldn't. We don't want to disclose the data. We want to do a soft credit review because it could harm the credit scores. Guess what? The credit score is like blood pressure or temperature. It's a vital sign. Fair Isaac, FICO, all of that was a vital sign made to test one of the measures of financial health and capability for a consumer. So when BNPL companies say, oh, we don't want to do data disclosure, that might harm the credit score, it should harm the credit score because the consumer's borrowing even more money when they already have an average or poor credit score because of their credit card spending in the first place. And I think what we saw here on the Harris poll, this chart, which I think is up there, everybody can see this right now, Rob? Take a look at this. How many of these, and Adam, I'm asking for your opinion here too. How many of this is the consumer basically admitting they don't have financial education or discipline? Spent more than I can afford. Find it difficult sticking to a monthly budget. Surprised by how much I owe monthly on BNPL. You couldn't take $500 for a TV, divide by 5 months, and realize that was $100 a month. How do you figure that? Falling behind on my other lines of credit, gone into debt, my spending is out of control. Look at this, like 3, 4, 5 of these are people openly saying they are absolutely incapable or not educated or out of control. It's, to me, this is a huge issue.
I love it. I mean, you know, the fact that you're talking about this and seeing what's going on. Adam, you have some thoughts on this here. Before I come to you, I want you guys to see this number here that Rob just pulled up. Impacts of buy now, pay later. Users of services reported various ways the products hurt their finances. Number one, 54%. Spent way more than I can afford. Of course. Number two, worse off financially, 34%. Find it difficult sticking to a monthly budget. Surprised by how much I owe on BNPL. Hurt my credit score. Fallen behind on my other lines of credit. Gone into significant debt. My spending is out of control. People are going through it. But as much as you see a report like this, he said something earlier, one can say, it's not fair. It's BNPL's fault. It's Klarna's fault. It's all these companies' fault. No one forced you to use it. You chose to use it. You chose to go buy those gifts during Christmas you couldn't afford to buy. Right. Nobody forced you to make that decision. Nobody forced me to buy a car I couldn't afford that I eventually lost. Nobody forced me to do it. I made that decision to get an Expedition with $600 car payment when I was making only $30,000 a year. I made that choice. I got into that $49,000. I had to make some changes. I had to change the way I looked at money. I had to change the relationship I had with money. Unfortunately, many keep blaming other reasons why this is taking place instead of taking full responsibility for it. And it's not easy to do, but some of us had to do it. Adam, thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, this buy now, pay later, I'm a big alliteration acronym, BNPL. It's buy now, pay later. It actually is broke now, poor later. Oh, pobrecito Latino, oh my God.
Yeah.
But it's on you at the end of the day. So there's another term that you should be familiar with. It was actually on CNBC this weekend. I was like, okay, I'm pretty astute when it comes to personal finance. This is a new one, and they called it money dysmorphia. I think I sent you a screenshot, Rob. Money dysmorphia, this is a new term, and it basically means that you have a distorted perception of your finances, and it's running rampant with Gen Z. 41% of millennials, if you go to the other tab, 41% of millennials have this, and it says an uptick in Gen Z. Now, what is money dysmorphia? It's a disconnect between your actual financial well-being and what you actually perceive that you have, according to TikTok. Literally influenced by TikTok feeds. Thanks, China, for all your well-being. So we've seen the stats come out there. 2/3 live paycheck to paycheck. 50% of Americans don't have $400 for an emergency. 25% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings. Only 50% of Americans actually invest. So the choice that you have to make is, do you want to be a part of the rich get richer crew or the poor get poorer crew? I chose, when I was broke as shit, get my mind right, then you get your money right, then the rich get richer.
But like, so what's the end game for all these problems that you guys are saying? People aren't saving. They're doing the buy now, pay later. This is going to lead to something bad. I know you're talking about the fire sale, but overall, this is, increased poverty. The dependency is going to be on the government. The economy is going to be messed up. Housing is going to be messed up. This is a bubble that's going to pop. Am I right?
So you're not wrong. Here's what I want to tell you. The announcement is both Dave Smith and Chris Cuomo have agreed to a debate.
That's
Yes.
great.
May 31st, Friday night, 6 to 9 p.m.
Friday night fights at
6 to 9 p.m.
That is sick.
Okay? 6 to 9 p.m.
Wow.
It's official. It'll be at our comedy club that we have, 5990 Live. And this is going to be what the people want. The people from the establishment who don't want to see this conversation take place, they're going to do everything in their power to prevent this from taking place.
Fauci being one of them.
Whoever it is.
Yeah.
They're going to be watching. Within seconds of making this announcement, I guarantee you messages are being sent saying, are you out of your flipping mind? For those of you guys that haven't yet registered for this, just go to 5990 Live, buy a ticket. VIP sell out ASAP, and then it'll be about 185 to 190 tickets. VIPs will have cigars with us afterwards, but looking forward to this.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.